Well, I guess I had to do something like this again eventually, even if the old ones are unlisted. Okay, so as you can see here, there is clearly more than just Firey Throwdown combatants, so I'm going to go through all of them for you. If you don't care about that stuff, then skip to this timestamp for the fun to begin. In District number 1, we have our Episode 1 combatants, which is Sin and Destroyer. District 2 is Episode 2 with King Kong and the Indominus Rex. District 3 is V1 and Hank J. Wimbledon. District 4 is where things get a bit iffy, because in District 1 is Sin, and it was Icon versus Sin, that episode, so we had to just shove the world in there and hope for the best, because Dio's right next to him. Speaking of Dio, District 5 is Dio versus Springtrap, so it's Dio and Springtrap. District 6 is King Ghidorah and Eternatus. District 7 is Cell and Zygarde, which I know isn't out yet, but sucks to suck. District 8 is our lovely hosts and the omnipresent hand monster, so me and the hand. Yes, I'm in it. Don't think about it. But now, of course, to shove in some rivalries in here, we decided to use the villains to our... Well, I mean, they're not villains, but if we have villain combatants, their heroes will be there to oppose them in the following districts. And if they are villains, then the heroes of their stories will, you know, do the same thing. So in District number 9, we have Uzi Dorman and Heisei Godzilla. In District number 10, we have Rexy, the T-Rex, and Gabriel, because Rexy's a T-Rex and King Kong fights T-Rex, and Rexy's also the arch nemesis to the Indominus Rex because she killed the Indominus Rex, so it's 2-in-1 combo. District 11 is Kiri and Jonathan Joestar. And then finally in District number 12, we have Cassidy, the one who Springtrap should not have killed, and Gohan, because he killed Cell. A few other things to note is Heisei Godzilla is here because Destroyer and King Ghidorah are in this. So it was just a 2-in-1 combo meal. It's simple enough. Gabriel was the closest thing to an antagonist that V1 has. Kiri, again, same thing for Icon, since I wasn't going to use the anime people from the end of episode 3, since Kiri seemingly really wants Icon dead. Jonathan Joestar's an obvious one, Cassidy's an obvious one, Gohan's an obvious one, and there's no arch nemesis for the Pokemon combatants because there really isn't an arch nemesis in Pokemon outside of like what Team Rocket, but I don't think the gods of the Pokemon world are going to care about the Mafia all too much. And lastly, if I remember correctly, the way that I have to do this is I have to screenshot the results and then react to them on CapCut. So I have to try and put my first reactions to it up there, which is going to be very difficult since, you know, I have to screenshot it, so I kind of have to look. So wish me luck. The Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podium, the horn sounds. Jonathan Joestar runs away from the cornucopia. Destroyer somehow runs away from the cornucopia. Rexy runs away from the cornucopia. Godzilla runs away from the cornucopia. Icon also runs away from... Everyone's running away. Runs away from the cornucopia. King Kong runs away. King Ghidorah runs away. Dio grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia. Cassidy runs away from the cornucopia despite being in disembodied spirit. Gabriel runs away from the cornucopia despite having wings. The hand receives a trident from inside the cornucopia. How are you going to hold that? You're just... What? Oh, I guess it's a giant hand, isn't it? Oh, I throw a knife into Springtrap's chest. Well, that escalated quickly. Uzi Dorman kills Cell as he tries to run. Well, there goes a fan favourite instantly. The Indominus Rex runs away from the cornucopia. Kiri grabs a shield leaning on the cornucopia because apparently they have a lot of those. Hank J. Wimbledon and Eternatus fight for a bag. Hank J. Wimbledon gives up and retreats. Yeah, I would imagine it's a giant reality warping dragon. Gohan runs away from the cornucopia. Zygarde and Sin threaten a double suicide. It fails and they die. How would it fail if they both die? Because clearly it's a double suicide. You're going to kill yourself. And they both clearly died. Well, there goes my fan favourite. Bye-bye, Sin. The world runs away from the cornucopia. And V1 runs away from the cornucopia. Day 1. King Kong searches for a water source. Uzi Dorman picks flowers, which is ironic since she's probably never seen a flower in her entire life. The Indominus Rex hunts for other tributes. Gabriel fishes. He's searching for that size 2 fish, I bet. Jason picks flowers. Okay. Dio hunts for other tributes. Gohan, Cassidy, Hank J. Wimbledon, and Eternatus hunt for other tributes. That's a terrifying team. And seemingly Hank and Eternatus worked their problems out. King Ghidorah receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor despite probably not needing to eat. Rexy, Icon, Destroyer and Jonathan Joestar also hunt for other tributes, which is also terrifying. The Hand, V1, Godzilla, Heisei and the World hunt for... Why is every terrifying team hunting for everyone? And Kiri tries to sleep through the day. Yeah, I would too, mate. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Springtrap, Cell, Zygarde and Sin have all fallen. Rest in pepperonis. Night 1. Gabriel, Jonathan Joestar and Rexy sleep in shifts. King Kong receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. I'm not sure how a giant gorilla is going to use medical supplies. Dio tends to the Hand's wounds that he apparently got. Godzilla Heisei lets the Indominus Rex into his shelter. I wouldn't go there, you'll get radiation poisoning. Hank Joelberton is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. I would imagine he would just shoot it like the firewood for a bunch of times until something happens, and it clearly didn't work. Kiri attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Everyone's just failing at starting fires today, it seems. Gohan bleeds out due to unrelated injuries. When did he even get injured? Jason, me, and Eternatus run into each other and decide to truce for tonight. Good job, me, you didn't aggravate the giant dragon. Destroyer thinks about winning. Of course he would. Cassidy looks at the night sky. King Ghidorah attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. You literally shoot lightning. How were you unsuccessful at starting a fire? You are one giant fire hazard. Icon loses sight of where she is. I'd imagine so. She's probably never been in a forest in her life. Uzi Dorman, V1 and the World cheerfully sing songs together. I have so many questions. Day 2. V1 is unable to convince Godzilla Heisei to not kill her. Oh yeah, right, V1's a woman in this, because, okay. Jason attacks Eternatus. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. But she manages to escape. Huh, I guess you're a woman now too. Congrats on your transition. The Hand discovers a river. Gabriel stalks Icon, that's weird. King Kong forces Rexy to kill Destroyer or Jonathan Joestar. She decides to kill the only killable one here. The Indominus Rex goes hunting, I would imagine, so it's a giant dinosaur. Kiri is pricked by thorns whilst picking berries. Good job. Uzi Dorman tries to sleep through the entire day. Understandable. Hank Gilberton just practices his archery. Well, I guess he decided to move on from guns to bows. Dio discovers a river. King Ghidorah camouflages himself in the bushes. I'm just imagining him standing in a comically large bush that is still not big enough to hide him. Cassidy searches for firewood. The World receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Who's giving the time-stopping ghost explosives? Who wants to do that? 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Gohan, V1 and Jonathan Joestar have all fallen. Rest in piss, you won't be missed. Night 2. Hank Gilberton and Godzilla sleep in shifts. Destroyer destroys Uzi Dorman's supplies while she's asleep because he felt like being a dick. King Ghidorah screams for help. The World begs for the Indominus Rex to kill him. She refuses, keeping the world alive. Maybe because she couldn't even see he was doing it. Gabriel defeats Rexy in a fight, but spares her life. Kiri, Icon, that's a weird duo, and Dio successfully ambush and kill the Hand, Cassidy, and Jason. Wow, you killed both the hosts. I hope they really hated that I put them through this stuff. Eternatus starts a fire, and King Kong receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Again, I don't think a gorilla's going to know what to do with a hatchet. But yeah, going back to earlier, I imagine Dio called bullshit on Springtrap winning as well, and that's why he decided to lead a band to go kill me. Day 3. Hank Gilberton thinks about home. I don't think he's killed anyone here yet, so I imagine he's going a bit stir-crazy. Destroyer, the World, Eternatus and King Kong track down and kill Icon. What does Icon do to you lot? Rexy travels to higher ground. I'm sorry, Rexy, deal with you in a minute. Destroyer, Eternatus... Those are 2 multiversal beings going to go kill Icon. What has she done to piss off this many powerful beings? The Indominus Rex also thinks about home, despite previously constantly living in captivity her whole life. I would imagine she wouldn't. Kiri collects fruit from a tree. She's pricked herself trying to collect berries, and now she's collecting fruit from a tree. What obsession does she have with fruit? King Ghidorah receives clean water from an unknown sponsor despite probably not needing to drink. Gabriel searches for a water source. Godzilla thinks about home. And Uzi Dorman stalks Dio Brando. That's a mental image, alright. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. The Hand, somehow dying. Cassidy, also somehow dying, she's a ghost. Me, of course I would die, I'm a normal person. And Icon just got fucking jumped. Absolutely jujitsu jumped in this place. Ridiculous. Night 3. King Kong goes to sleep. Dio screams for help. Bastard. Hank Jorgensen and the world talk about the tribute still alive. I don't know if the world can talk, but I guess he can now. Destroyer loses sight of where he is. Somehow he can tower over everything. I imagine it's kind of hard to get lost when you can see the entire map. King Ghidorah is awoken by nightmares. Oh. I'm sorry, that just caught me off guard. Eternatus starts a fire. There you go. Now that's how you do it, Ghidorah. The Indominus Rex fends Kiri, Godzilla, and Gabriel away from her fire. How do you manage that? Does he just threateningly throw sticks at them or something? I don't know. Uzi Dorman kills Rexy for her supplies. What supplies? It's a T-Rex. What supplies are you going to get from her? Day 4. King Ghidorah receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. I don't know how he's going to use that. He has no hands. King Kong picks flowers. Destroyer defeats Hank Jumpert in a fight but spares his life. That is so canon it hurts. Kiri defeats Eternatus in a fight but spares her life. Alright, I forgot Eternatus is a woman. The world, the Indominus Rex, Dio, Uzi Dorman, and Gabriel hunt for other tributes. That's like half of the people here. And Godzilla is pricked by thorns while picking berries. God knows how he can pick berries. He's a bit big for that. Oh boy, it's an arena event. A fire spreads at the Firey Throwdown Battle Royale thing, and it's a fire. Of course it would be. The world and King Ghidorah failed to find a safe spot and suffocate somehow, since King Ghidorah can breathe in space, but we're going to just go with it. Uzi Dorman survives. Kiri falls to the ground but kicks the Ghidorah hard enough to then push them into the fire. Okay, so when did Kiri do leg day this much to kick Destroyer into a fire? Dio falls to the ground but kicks Eternatus hard enough to then push her into the fire. Okay, we're just cooking everyone today. They're cooking all the multiverse tiers. King Kong somehow survives. The Indominus Rex and Godzilla Heisei failed to find a safe spot and stuff. Godzilla, you literally breathe fire. How do you suffocate? Gabriel survives and Hank Trumpleton survives. Of course he would survive, he's done this before, but you wouldn't know that because that video is unlisted. That fire took out 7 people. Rexy, the world, King Ghidorah somehow, Destroyer somehow, Eternatus somehow, the Indominus Rex, and also somehow, even the most somehow out of all of these, Godzilla. I have no idea how you managed that, but this isn't canon anyway, so nobody cares. Looking at everyone's status, we have no one in District 1 alive. King Kong is still alive from District 2. Hank is still alive from District 3, but hasn't killed anyone, surprisingly. District 4, Icon killed 3 people. No wonder they had to assassinate her. District 5, Dio is alive with 4 kills somehow. District 6, somehow King Ghidorah and Eternatus are both dead. Somehow Cell and Zygarde are both dead. Both the hosts are dead. Uzi's still alive. Just imagine in the Firey Throwdown Battle Royale Hunger Games thing, a character not from a Firey Throwdown wins. Speaking of, Kiri has the most kills, despite arguably being one of the weakest people here. So that's pretty funny. Night 4. King Kong stabs Gabriel in the back of a trident. I guess he did know how to use items. Hank Dumpleton and Kiri sleep in shifts. You know what? I think Kiri's got this. I've got my money on Kiri. Uzi Dorman looks at the night sky and Dio screams for help. Again. The feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families, if they have any. Dio decides not to go to the feast, mainly because he's a vampire. King Kong and Hank Jorgensen get into a fight over raw meat, but King Kong gives up and runs away. I don't know why Hank is fighting a gorilla for meat, but that's fucking hilarious. Uzi Dorman stuffs a bundle of dry clothing into a backpack before sprinting away. That's the last thing I'd think she would care about. And Kiri decides not to go to the feast. Good job. You got away from the chaos. And in day 5, Dio, Hank Jorgensen, King Kong, and Kiri all hunt for other tributes, whilst Uzi Dorman searches for a water source. For some reason, she doesn't need a drink. I don't know why she's doing this still. And whilst I'm here, this seems to be our final 5. So place your bets. And if you place your bets on Dio, you're wrong, because I hate him. He's going to lose no matter what. Oh yeah, Gabriel died. I don't care. Moving on. Night 5. Dio cries himself to sleep. Good. Uzi Dorman and King Kong talk about the tribute still alive. Somehow, I guess King Kong can talk now. Kiri convinces Hank Jumberton to snuggle with her. I'm not going to even try to imagine what that looks like or how that conversation went down, because like that is such a weird combination. Day 6, and Kiri immediately repeatedly stabs King Kong to death with size. So I was right to be voting for her, I guess. Uzi Dorman fishes. I don't know why she would, but I guess she's fishing. Hank Jumberton explores the arena, and Dio practices his archery. I don't think he needs archery. He has laser eyes. Rest in pieces, King Kong. Night 6. Uzi Dorman tracks down and kills Hank Jumberton. Don't worry, he'll be back later. Dio receives a hatchet from the unknown sponsor. Again, I don't think you need it. And Kiri, understandably, questions her sanity. Well, as to not bore everyone, I'm just going to skip over the random stuff and get till somebody kills each other next. Well, this was anticlimactic because it happened literally the next time I said proceed. Kiri just dropped dead from hunger, whilst Uzi Dorman, I imagine, like right next to Kiri dropping dead, is bashing Dio's head against the rock several times. She hasn't even got a Fiery Throwdown, but yeah, I guess she still wins the Fiery Throwdown Battle Royale, or Hunger Games, or whatever you want to call it. Let's look at the stats, shall we? I can't believe I got the first kill, and the first kill was the guy who is meant to never die. So that's just funny. Cell and Zygarde went next, which is also funny because they are next. Sin died. Okay, let's look at this, shall we? Who got the most kills? Kiri got the most kills. That's a shame that she didn't win then. I'm glad Dio didn't win though. I guess I can be happy with that. Maybe I'll do another one of these at some point, but who knows. For now, let's crown our winner, Uzi Dorman, and move on to the next one. If there is going to be a next one. While you're still here, do you think there's going to be a secret like there was in the last tier list or whatever? Nah, just me. So how are you doing? I'm doing great. This is awkward. Bye-bye.